And yes, it's that time of the year again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now talking hockey. We are back with Grade A Power Plays. I'm your boy, Grade A Fantasy, ready for the second season of this installment on my YouTube channel. Let's get right into it. Once again, even though, yes, I do eventually use DraftKings and FanDuel, I am FanDuel first. This segment of my show, of my channel, is called Grade A Power Plays because on FanDuel, you can bet power play points. Today, on the other hand, it is very weird. There are still games from early that don't have power play points up yet. As we look here, as you see that we're already on my cover board. These are bets that I had earlier. Hopefully they're still the same by the time this video gets out there so you guys can tell these. Let's get right into it. I still don't see any power play points for this game here, but I love Philly 2, Tippett, Zegras, Konechny. I love the way Chicago was able to attack with their second line. Like I said, overall, Florida's still a good defensive team, but when you lose two great two-way players like Kachuk and you got to keep moving people up, Philly 2 will most likely be looking. I'm pretty sure Florida will try to send their top line. Like I said, that's where Couturier, Mitchkov, and Dvorak is, but I'm pretty sure there'll be times that Philly 2, which is Tippett, the newly acquired Zegras, and Konechny, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to see what's left the line to maybe at least the mid lineups of 2 and 3. So as much as I respect, Reinhardt and Lundell, aka Baby Barkov, he's Baby Barkov. He is not Barkov. So with that, also, you got to take some trends from last year. These teams are pretty much the same. Like I said, Florida had the additions of, Marchand. And then, of course, the big change for Philly, which is why I had fun betting them the last month of the year once they fired Tortorella. But here's some interesting stats. Philly did play Florida well before the Torch firing. In 3 games last year, we had a 3-4 victory. They lost 3-4, lost 5-7, and then beat them. Pretty much they had a game with them basically within a month of each other. November lost 3-4, lost 5-7 in December, and then it was January the 13th or the 12th of last season, but this year, and they lost 4-3. So they can score, whether if it's Bob or the backup. So obviously with a better defense and a fully correlated line, I actually love Tippett, Zegras, and Konechny. Konechny's the only person at the time when I did this bet that was minus money. So me, if you've seen the channel from last year, decent single bet odds. I'll take the point by themselves. Tippett plus 130, Zegras plus 118. Zegras and Tippett combined is plus 232. And then, of course, Konechny's not bad odds. So when you connect them with Zegras, plus 163, and plus 181, Konechny with Tippett. Now, yes, Flyers still have, goalie issues or whatever. So if you want to look at it like a Lundell and Reinhardt, we can look at those odds in a minute. But the fact that, one, Philly is an underdog in this game. Let's just go check this out real quick if I can get there. There we go. Nice transition. And if you see here, when you look at the overall game, I feel Philly has some good offensive pieces. The odds I knew were going to be good at plus 176. So I was really looking forward. I was waiting for these last night. As you can see, some of the favorites, Reinhardt's going to be all the way up there. You got Bennett at minus 170. And then you got the okay stackable odds of 148. I mean, if you get Verhaeghe and Marchand, I think that's plus money if you decide to go there. That's not bad. It's plus 151. If you go underneath to maybe line 2, minus 111 with Lundell, he's not even plus. You still get plus money with Reinhardt. But yeah, maybe a Samoskevich, Evan Rodriguez, line 3 with an E2 D2, or maybe Lundell with E2 because it's Lundell, E2, and Reinhardt on line 2, and then you got Evan Rodriguez with Mackie Samoskevich on line 3, playing the depth of the Flyers. So plus 2-way is the option there. But and plus part of it is I'm excited. I had a lot of fun betting them towards the end of the season. I liked them last year. Plus we have a Florida team that's still giving up penalties. The power play was horrible. They were last in the league. You don't have much time to raise your percentage in a month, but they were still able to raise it from the bottom. They were still in the bottom part of the league, but they went up a few spots from the bottom. So if somebody like Florida is gonna give if somebody like Florida is gonna give Chicago, 5 chances, then Florida is what Florida does. They're high in penalty taking. They're just good at killing penalties, and we just have to take the chance. But I really do like the fact that no two-way Barkov, no two-way Kachuk. Still a good strong team, but Philly too will get their chances with the middle of the lineup. So that's where I like that. Let's go back to my bets here and let's scroll down to where I left off. And we're going to talk about this game right here. So obviously, this game does have power play points, so this will be a little bit of a longer talk. So Boston, good old Boston won. That's where the offense is. They're home against Chicago. The danger about Boston, and it sometimes happens, is because Boston has those good defensive days where they can muck it up, they slow it down, and then it's just all Boston won. So the thing here with this game is Boston is still giving up a lot of penalties. They gave up 5, okay? Boston led the league in penalty minutes most of the year. I think they finished 3rd. They gave up 5 penalties to Washington. Now, that's when Swayman was there. Joonas Korpisalo is most likely a bigger downgrade from Swayman. So when it comes to that, I definitely like the fact that, one, attacking the middle of Florida. I did like Chicago too. When I was playing fantasy, I didn't do any betting opening night, but Chicago 2 is basically the same situation as Philly 2. So with that being said, Chicago has the same similar thing again, because with Chicago 2, they're going to guard Bedard, and Bedard's going to see Lowry, McAvoy, and after that, the depth, some above average offensive players, but not much to really say defensively on the Boston end after you get past not even just the top line, just the top pair of defensemen. So before we could talk about them, my first power play bets of the year, let's see how they go. Once again, the danger about Chicago, they have trouble generating, but that Boston defense is not good. They gave up 37 shots, okay? Swayman was the main reason why they won that game. Washington had plenty. Outshot them 37-21 in that game. Swayman held them in and only gave up 1 goal. Korpisalo, even with low generation of 19 to 25 shots, which is what could happen on the road with Chicago, I think just because the power play opportunity, and yes, if they can get a few power plays in there, and like I said, it's a better matchup for Chicago too. Fully correlated on the top line. Tuvo Teravainen plus 310. Bertuzzi plus 320. Frank Nazar plus 360. And the power play quarterback plus 370. Sam Rinzel. And I also went with each one of these guys. I went with different pairs too. Each one of these guys, Tuvo, Frank Nazar, they're all plus money. The entire line is plus money. It's not a lot of plus money, but it adds up fast. If you do plus 100 on each, it's plus 3 something, if I'm not mistaken. Nazar, Tuvo plus 179. Then Bertuzzi by himself is plus 106. Frank Nazar, Bertuzzi plus 188. And 187, Bertuzzi, Tuvo. They're all plus 100. Bertuzzi plus 106. So it's a great matchup. It's a great sweat. Can Chicago let us down? Yes, because they do have their days that they do not generate. Now let's get to the Boston side. I didn't pick any power play side because, funny thing is, Chicago's a very feisty team. They have their days where they just play hard and try to get their stick into the way, poke, check, cross check, finish them. They got a good core of defensemen. They just don't give up a lot of power plays. So I didn't take the power plays, but I did take something different. So looking at the research from the last couple of years, and obviously they're in the West, so it's a small sample, but these teams are basically the same besides, Marchand leaving late, and obviously it's been a couple of years of Bedard being there, right? So it's basically the top line. The only good top odds is plus 120, Geeky and Lindholm for a point. But here's the thing. Looking back at the last 4 games, so basically, they only play each other once because it's Western Conference. So So the last, 3 games in 4 years, I should say. 3 games, Pasternak has 2-point games. And in those 3 games, in those games, 3 goals, 3 assists. So 3 2-point games. So if everything is coming through the top line, I think it's going to be very interesting to let's sweat out something fun. Morgan Geeky by himself, 2 points is 300. Pasternak, 2 points. Geeky, 2 points is plus 392. Pasternak by himself is plus 132 with the game that he had. Especially the last, and that's another thing. With those 2-point games, guess what? The top line is coming with Pasternak. And the top line has been the one that's beaten them in these games within the last 4. So I really think they could be a repeat performance. Lindholm plus 2 points is plus 350. Lindholm and Pasternak is plus 418. Geeky and Lindholm for 2 points is plus 735. Now, going along with that, let's head back to the homepage. The only other game, let's see if while I'm recording this video, do we get any power play points in Philly yet? Nope, they're still not there, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, there's some good games here. There's so many big games to pick. But if there's another game that I would want to pick, I want Vegas and San Jose. But they still don't even have the point props yet. That's another game where 2 points with 2-point props, especially with the lower line. San Jose is still San Jose. Had a ton of fun betting them. But guess what? If you think Eichel and Marner could destroy whatever matchup they throw at them, what's the depth of Dorofeyev and Hurdle and even some William Karlsson and Brandon Saad bets could do this? So that's the other game that I'm looking at. But for what's available, that's all I can give to you right now. So let's sweat out the beginning of this monster slate. Philly at Florida and Chicago at Boston, both 7 o'clock games. So let's see what happens tonight. That's what's going on with me there. Good luck tonight. Thank you for tuning in. More episodes to come. Grade A Power Plays is back. And later today, we shall get into the tight end and the defensive positions for Week 6 on FanDuel. Thank you for tuning in. This is your boy, Grade A Fantasy. Good luck tonight.